Blackhawks, Red Wings, Canucks. We're talking all those teams in the next few days. Hey everyone, I'm Jason York. Thanks for joining me on the York Sports Report show today. It is the eve, the night before Christmas. No, it's the night before the 2010 Stanley Cup playoffs. Hi everyone, again, I'm Jason York, coming to you live from Vancouver. Today we're going to do the show in a few segments, so watch all if you enjoy. We've got the girls that will be coming over during the playoffs in the next couple episodes. We've got a couple of new Look What I Can Do features. You might find them quite, there is some hilarity to some of the new stuff that we've been able to do of late. Anyways, the Vancouver Canucks taking on the LA Kings, and I've been searching for all these stats, and I don't like stats either. I remember Joe Morgan said once watching Sunday Night Baseball, some people like Joe Morgan, some people can't really stand Joe Morgan. I like Joe Morgan, but he did say something very interesting one day, and he said stats are the one thing that have completely ruined sports, and I'm on board with that, because at the end of the day, how do you compare the LA Kings to the Vancouver Canucks? The numbers are extremely eerie. The Canucks aren't a much better team than the LA Kings. I mean, okay, we've got Henrik Sedin, we've got Daniel, we've got Alex Burrows, and that's our top line, okay? But in terms of like gigantic sort of gaps in between sort of stats versus Kings, Vancouver, there isn't a lot. Whether it's shorthanded, wins. I mean, the LA Kings finished 2 points behind Vancouver Canucks. They finished three wins less than the Vancouver Canucks. I think they have 2 more ties than the Vancouver Canucks, and that's where they get those extra points there. They've got 19 players, I believe, over 6 feet. The Canucks, I did not know this. Most of their team is 6 feet or taller. Areas where the Vancouver Canucks, I think, are going to expose the LA Kings is possibly on D. Drew Doughty has this down on his head. I mean, he's just going to have to come up humongous. Jack Johnson is horrific, -15. I'm not saying horrific bad on defense, but he can be exposed. And the Vancouver Canucks, they've got speed, they've got Raymond, they've got Kessler, now you've got Samuelson back again, and if you're watching TV and you're reading the papers and watching and listening to the radio station, everyone's flat out saying that the Vancouver Canucks have to have the second, third line scoring. It just can't be put on the Sedins. I guarantee if the Sedins take more than 2 nights off in any series, they're done. Or it's going to be the Roberto Luongo show. There was a number that I said, and correct me that I was wrong. The last the last 8 starts, or no, it was the last 8 losses for Roberto Luongo that he allowed 35 goals, I believe, 35 or 36, something like that. Not good numbers, but it's going to be a great series, and I love the fact that it's on the West Coast. I like LA. They're a fast team. They're young. They've got a great nucleus. They're big. They're physical. They play an aggressive style. And yeah, it's somewhat similar to the Vancouver Canucks, but the Canucks aren't really so much a very aggressive team. It takes a lot to sort of get them to play that mode. Maybe they proved me wrong this year, but at the end of the day, I do like the Canucks in this series. If Frolov for the Kings shows up, then there could be a series here. Kopitar has to show up. Dustin Brown has to show up. We all know Dustin Brown's going to be fired up for the playoffs. I firmly believe that Dustin Brown is going to say, hey, I'm Dustin Brown. We are the LA Kings. And they might take this 6, maybe, possibly 7 games. Who knows? But again, if you look at the stats, more from shots, shorthanded goals, you name it, they're right there. There isn't a gigantic gap in any of the comparisons with the Kings and the Canucks. Anyways, again, the Canucks top line, they have to perform, and for them to go to the Stanley Cup, they have to perform every single night. There is no way in the world that the Sedins and Burrows can take any time off. But anyways, that being said, Alex Burrows, same thing with Chris Versteeg last year. Burrows leads the Vancouver Canucks this year with 5 shorthanded goals. Alex is like Chris Versteeg. He likes a little bit of extra room. And when you give Alex Burrows or Chris Versteeg or any players that are up there with shorthanded goals, it's because there's more room, there's more space, and they get out there, they get to create, they get to use their wheels, boom, and that's going to be the other factor. I think that's where the Vancouver Canucks will step up and they'll perform. Alex Burrows, again, 5 shorthanded goals. That's where the Kings are going to have to stay out of the penalty. The Kings take a lot of penalties. That is the one thing about the Kings, and some of their stars take dumb, stupid penalties. They've got minutes. The Chicago Blackhawks now going up against the Nashville Predators. Oh, by the way, I just want to say something here, and this is really starting to kind of get a little thunder, a little bit of lightning. Jim Carrey has made a comment around Ellen. Ellen is the foxy bombshell of a wife that Tiger Woods is married to. Excuse me. Very attractive young woman, hot as hell. But Jim Carrey's comments, I have to agree, and I know there's a lot of people that are slagging Jim Carrey now. You know, there was all these stories and all these rumors and all these reports that Tiger Woods was here at 3 a.m., here at 2 a.m., going to Vegas at 3 a.m. with Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley. I'm not going to get into the Charles Barkley or Michael Jordan thing because those guys, they were great ball players. I'm not going to get into their personal affairs, okay? I'm not judging them. Tiger is a big boy. But if you're married to someone and your partner keeps hopping on flights at 2, 3, 12 a.m. in the morning, aren't you going to start scratching your head? Aren't you going to start going, Aren't you going to start asking some questions? So she's got a part too. And I'll tell you what it is. It's called settling. I mean, the bottom line is if you're staying in something where, you know, and where there's some stuff going on and you're not certain, and, you know, I mean, don't give me this BS that her girlfriends or her sidekicks weren't saying, hey, you know, maybe you should ask the guy. I mean, wasn't there any of that? I'm not co-signing what Tiger Woods did. By far am I not co-signing it. That stuff is just absolutely atrocious garbage. Okay, he's got 2 kids. He's got 2 or 3 with, God, Ellen's hot. Ellen's a fine-looking young lady. But, you know, I mean, she's got a part too. And I just don't understand how everyone's going, oh, Tiger, what a pig, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, if she knew about this, see ya, pack the bags, adios, amigos. Nothing doing. I mean, you're going to try and convince me that she didn't know about this stuff? That's ridiculous. Anyways, enough about that stuff. We'll take a short break and we'll come back and we'll touch base on the Chicago Blackhawks and the Nashville Predators.